To my friend Gilbert Burns, rest now, brother. We have the watch, and we will see you in Valhalla. Gilbert Burns retires. Mike Malott finishes him by a round 3 TKO. Gilbert Burns, let me just jump straight into this full recap. Gilbert Burns, you know, might not get the respect from Jesus, I really zoomed in there a lot. But Gilbert Burns might not get the respect from the average casual fan. But this guy has an insane resume of dudes he's fought, whether it was Chimaev, Usman, Bilal, Sean Brady, Michael Morales, JDM, Jorge Masvidal, Damian Maia, Tyron Woodley, Wonderboy, Neil Magny. The dude's fought fucking everybody, and he'll always have my respect. Never ducked a fight, put on a lot of fun performances. Obviously, the Chimaev fight, I think, is kind of a standout of Gilbert Burns' career. But really, he hasn't won a fight in 3 years. And that was against, I think that was Jorge Masvidal's last fight in the UFC. He's on a 5-fight losing streak now. Retirement just made sense. Even in this fight, though, I'll say this for Gilbert Burns. It didn't go as terribly as I thought it was going to go. He's hunting the big right hands, trying to fluke Mike Malott with something. I think he went like, 0 for 7 on takedowns. Couldn't land a takedown to save his life. I thought Mike Malott wasn't really that impressive. Like, he was landing a couple nice combos. Probably took the first round on volume. But I wasn't super impressed by anything he was doing. He was moving around the octagon, I guess, okay. But wasn't really cutting off Gilbert Burns enough, in my opinion. I feel like if he wanted to finish this fight, he could have probably finished it earlier. I thought Gilbert Burns did do a nice job in that second round, kind of attacking that front leg Mike Malott a lot, because he was putting a lot of weight on that. I thought that was a good adjustment from him. But again, couldn't really land anything on Mike Malott. Malott was landing his uppercuts. You could tell Gilbert Burns was kind of just starting to crumble in that second round, was finding punches through the guard, working well off of his jab. Third round comes around, Gilbert Burns still trying to fluke that fucking right hand, couldn't get a double leg, and then Mike Malott drops him with like an uppercut combo, drops him again with a right hand, ground and pound. It's over. Honestly, who cares though? Because it was incredibly sad. Mike Malott showed a lot of respect. I thought it was cool that the Canadian crowd was chanting for Gilbert Burns. He put his heart in the sport. I can't really say anything negative about Gilbert Burns. He's a great fighter. He'll still be around. I don't know. It was kind of what we expected. Gilbert Burns he just doesn't have it anymore. Mike Malott, nothing really has impressed me from this guy. Is this really the best Canada has to offer? And before somebody goes, Amen Zahabi, it's like, all right, then Zahabi or Mike Malott. Slim pickings over here for the Canadians. I feel bad for them, but they're all kind of gay. They did see a pretty good card, though, because overall, this Fight Night card was pretty fun. Obviously, kind of highlight of it is Gilbert Burns retiring. And Mike Malott now moving into the top 15. And I'll give credit to Gilbert Burns. He lost to a guy who was unranked, and now you're getting a new face in the top 15. So he died on his sword. I respect him for that. We're getting a new face, even if it is fucking Mike Malott, who I don't think is particularly that good, but good win for Mike Malott. Did what he needed to do, pace himself well. And I don't really know what's next for. Maybe fights an Uros Medic or Gabriel Bonfim, or Buckley if he loses to Brady. There's options for Mike Malott. I don't really know how many fights are actually winnable for him in the top 15. But either way, on a 4-fight winning streak, has really improved since he lost to Neil Magny. And the thing is with Mike Malott, it's really a shame. Because he could come out there and he could fucking spinning wheel kick Joaquin Buckley or Bonfim in his next fight, and I still wouldn't believe in him because he lost to Neil Magny. If you lose to Neil Magny, you can never actually be a legit name in the division and never actually win the belt. Moving on to Kyler Phillips versus Charles Jourdain. This was a pretty interesting fight because Kyler Phillips leaned a ton on the grappling, a lot more than I thought he was. The first round, he's landing a ton of takedowns. There were some fun scrambles on the bottom from Charles Jourdain as he's trying to throw up these fucking triangles that weren't really working. Kyler Phillips was doing a great job. If Charles Jourdain managed to get back up to his feet, he was staying on that body lock, bringing him right back down. Round 2, it's kind of more the same. He's doing a nice job with the trips and doing a nice job just getting Charles Jourdain back to the mat. But and Charles Jourdain just kept hunting for guillotines this whole fight. And one of my biggest fucking pet peeves is when a guy's like kind of setting up a submission, like nothing's really in, obviously. Like he's kind of trying to set up that guillotine, and then you have fucking Brendan Fitzgerald or Paul Felder or Laura Sanko like, that guillotine. It's almost a little Rogan-y, but even Rogan, I feel like doesn't jump the gun as much as some of these other people. But I thought Charles Jourdain pretty much after the early part of the second round controlled this fight for the most part. Kyler Phillips was trying to go in on a single leg, ate a ton of punches to the face, and I think he started to wear, some damage there. Jourdain was landing a lot more on the feet, was hitting shots to the body to slow Kyler Phillips down. You could tell Kyler Phillips was kind of gassed after that first round. Charles Jourdain was just walking him down, fucking mixing in the occasional flying knee that wouldn't land, rolling thunders. His boxing was better. He was trying to clip farm. I think he clipped him a little bit with a rolling thunder in that second round. I think third round comes around, he lands, and Kyler Phillips lands another takedown. Jourdain did a much better job breaking the grips here. And even there was a point where I thought Kyler Phillips was going to steal this because Charles Jourdain throws up another fucking stupid flying knee. And Kyler Phillips did a nice job intercepting it, get him to the ground. But then you have Charles Jourdain, he was attacking Kimura, that Phillips did a nice job straightening his arm out to get out of that. And then we're back to the feet, and Charles Jourdain grazed him with a flying knee. It kind of split Kyler Phillips open, and Kyler Phillips just wore more damage. He didn't really fight smart in this fight. He didn't fight intelligently, in my mind. Probably could have won this fight had he... I don't even know. Just like... Even in the clinch, I thought Kyler Phillips could have some advantages in the clinch. He did land maybe one or two step-in elbows, but didn't really do a good enough job kind of punishing Charles Jourdain in the clinch, where Jourdain has got it finished in there. I thought Kyler Phillips could have done a better job with that and just getting better control, because I thought Jourdain did a nice job scrambling to get back up. He did more damage. Didn't think this was a robbery. Good one for Charles Jourdain, who is either going to be in the top 15 or literally right there. Thank God. Kyler Phillips just gives me nothing. He's so fucking bland. Starts out well and then just fades as the fight goes on. At least Charles Jourdain is excited to watch, even if you don't think he's that good. Mandel Nallo versus Jai Herbert. Fucking just how good is Ilia Topuria, guys? I mean, what a weird little fight we had here where, you know, Jai Herbert looked like he was going to die against the fence, was getting touched up. Mandel Nallo's throwing that fucking head kick out there. And then he just drops Mandel Nallo with a straight right, not a straight, kind of a hook with a right hand. And, you know, Nallo survives, almost throws up like a leg locks, kind of getting hammer fisted, gets back up, and then dies. Jai Herbert wins. Paul Felder couldn't really understand him as he's doing the interview. Fuck, I don't know. Good win for Jai Herbert, I guess. Again, a dude who's fought so many names in the lightweight division. Two really old-ass dudes going at it. I'm surprised that he won, but a good win for Jai Herbert. Not an easy debut for Mandel Nallo. I think he should get another chance, but yeah. Jasmine Jadu's Vicious. I really didn't watch a ton of this fight. She just landed more takedowns, it seemed, had the control time. Good win for her. That's what I'll say. Moving down to Thiago Moises versus Gage Young. Again, another fight I didn't really watch. Thiago Moises seemed like he was patchy maxing for most of this fight. Wasn't really doing a lot on the feet. I think he kind of smudged Gage Young early on in that first round. The Gage Young was kind of clip farming at the end of the third. He probably had a finish and played with his food and then proceeded to point down and kind of got rocked a little by Thiago Moises. So that was kind of funny. I guess good win for Gage Young. Beats a pretty crafty vet in Thiago Moises. Marcio Barbosa, another Brazilian LFA demon, knocks out. Dennis Bazooka was going to be a part of the Wu-Tang Clan, and then he got fucking cut because he wanted to chase his UFC dreams. He's from Staten Island, if you didn't know. Marcio Barbosa just bombs him. I mean, he fucking with a left hook or left hand. Excuse me. Hold on, I gotta fucking see. Sorry. He left him fucking stiff as a board, stiff as your cock when you see Megan Fox. That was brutal. That's one of the better knockouts you see. Again, another LFA demon just shows up and drops it, dude. These LFA Brazilians are fucking different. He looks like he's 56. He's only like 19, so that was a good win. And what I tell you, Julian LeBlanc is absolutely terrible. He's fought nobody on the Canadian regional scene whatsoever. Looked like shit. Got subbed by Robert Valentine. It was cool to see Robert Valentine saying, I did this for my mom. She passed away. That was pretty emotional. Again, a dude who, you know, he's probably faced two dudes who are shit like Torres Finney and Ryan Loder, but he's faced at least names like a Teba Gauthier, Torres Finney, Ryan Loder. I know he hasn't won a fight in the UFC before this, but he has faced some guys. I'm happy for Robert Valentine. He beats a shit. And I think up to this point, Canadians were like 1-4 in the fucking on the card. They really were not doing that well. It kind of turned around as the card went on. Gokum Sakaram, he beats Tanner Boser. I didn't really watch. Again, the Knicks were on, so there was a lot of watching the fucking Knicks. I wasn't locked in. Tanner Boser, man, versus Gokum Sakaram. Good win for him. I think I had him grabbed by TKO round 3. This fight was kind of shady though, because I believe both these guys are managed by Ali Abdulaziz. Tanner Boser hasn't really been having any fights, I think, in like a year. So they get him this fight in the UFC, and it kind of gives Gokum Sakaram like an easy debut and an easy finish. He gets a nice little fucking finish bonus. I kind of see what was going on here. Nice work, Ali, fucking scumbag. Melissa Croden, she won. I saw this was a robbery. I thought Jamie Lynn Horth won. I didn't really watch this fight, but she seemed to outstruck her and stuff all her takedowns. So it's kind of crazy Canadians getting robbed in Canada. Castaneda versus Vologden was a really fun fight. Mark Vologden, again, not very defensively responsible whatsoever. Castaneda was finding shots on him early. Vologden's eating a ton of them. I think there was a ball shot early on in that first round. Yeah, there was. Mark Vologden probably had to have broken the record previously held by Justin Gaethje for most rolling thunders ever thrown in a fight. He's doing a nice job attacking that lead leg in the second round. Some nice body shots. Guys were trading. I thought Castaneda, from the second round on, won this fight. It was kind of a shame that ball shot happened for him because that's what led to the draw. He would have won this fight had he not kicked him in the nuts another time. Was just rolling with the punch as well from the second round on, landing a lot more cleanly. Also, I do want to give some credit to Jason Herzog and kind of the officials as of late. I like the consistency with taking the fucking points away when you're hitting dudes in the balls. That's what I want to see. I get it's inadvertent, it's part of the game, but you got to keep doing it. I like that from Jason Herzog. I thought Mark Vologden was going to fucking get finished in the third round. He just seemed kind of broken, but he just kept eating shots, and every time you thought he was going to get finished, he would just fire back a 1-2 on Castaneda. Castaneda did a really nice job in that third round, landing better combos, landing leg kicks, pouring onto the fence, not giving Vologden a ton of room to operate. Draw was pretty fair. Thought it was a pretty fun fight. Good draw from Castaneda and Vologden. And then I didn't really watch this one, but Jamie Serraza, shit Canadian, gets run through by John Yanis by, I believe, ground and pound TKO. That being said, was a pretty fun card. I kind of wish I was able to dive a little bit more into it, but the Knicks were on, and everybody knows me. Jalen Brunson comes first in my life. It's God, Jalen Brunson, Charles Oliveira. That's my big three. What's your big three? Again, thank you all for watching. Quick recap on Gilbert Burns versus Mike Malott. But again, this is a card that didn't really have a ton of stakes on it. You know, there wasn't that many exciting matchups going into it. It did have plenty of fun fights, but decent card. Canadians seem to enjoy it. Whatever. They could take this slop. Don't ever put shit like this in the fucking States. Keep that shit in Canada, UAE, fucking Bahamas, China, Israel. Put this shit anywhere else but the States. Good win for Mike Malott. Gilbert Burns, we will miss you.